Well, now we've lowered the background and leveled it, we can start cleaning up our design. And this is called setting in the outline or whatever we want to carve. And this setting in uses a high angle grip. In other words, the tool's coming in from above. Now there are two ways or two approaches I'm going to show you. And the first I call setting in by matching. Let's have a look. In order for me to show you the first way of setting in, you need to draw yourself something like this. There's details in the download. Essentially it's a circle at a certain diameter and divided into 16. And then on your practice board, you want to follow through the steps so far, go round with your V tool, lining it in, remove wood and lower the background, and then levelling, clean up the background, and you'll be left with a little bit of waste around this edge here. So get it this far, nice bit more practice for you, and then I'll show you how we're going to cut this edge. So now we're ready to set in the edge by matching. And by matching, I mean quite literally matching the shape of the outline we want with the carving tool. Now we've only got one carving tool here, so I know that this width here matches the 16th of a circle. But normally you'd pick a tool to fit the shape you want. You come in the high angle grip, and using your shoulder you'd press straight down like so, and then you might find another place where it matches and press that down. You might do all the same tool at the same time. Did you see what I did there? I just shunted forward. So sometimes if it doesn't quite meet, you can just lift the corner as we did, move it forward and drop into the stab cut again. One of the really important things about working like this with matching is that you can repeat this over and over again. So if you have anything you have to copy, you can use the same tool each time. And I know that this edge and this edge and this edge will all be the same. So having stabbed in like this, you now have to clear away this little bit of waste around the edge here. So you come back to your flat gouge and you just start removing it. And the trick is to use the corner of the tool and come into the outline. I might have to come down this way for this one. The camera's sort of a little bit on the wrong side for me. If that doesn't come out like here, it's a good bit to show you. You can come back to this tool and you just lightly press that down. So what we're trying to do is sort out our junction so that this plane here comes straight across and meets the plane coming down in this direction very neatly. So this new junction here is a line, and we've got to make sure that's clean as we go along. So there's one there, that's one here, I stabbed in there. So let's do this one over here. So then you merge this with your little slicing drifting cuts. You merge this bit into the rest of the background. So I want you to go round this sort of carving and create this nice sharp edge by matching the tool. The other thing you can try and do, if it's fun, and this is just a practice, is what if we turn the tool from this way round to this way round? Well, we've got a bit too much wood here that we'd have taken away the lining in, but we can nibble this back a little bit, just like this, using that cut, and then we can match that curve to this one here. So the tool can be this way round or this way round, and then we can take this bit of wood away in the same sort of way. It's not coming away. Gently just nick that fibres off here. Okay, so play around with that. This is setting in by matching, finding the shape of the tool to fit the outline. The second way of setting in is setting in by slicing. And in order for me to show you this, I need you to again make a little practice board. What I've done is I've used our flat gouge just as we did before and pushed it in its cut like this. I actually did it here on this line, and I've drawn this with a bit of pencil to make it show out. Now what I've done here is I've started off with this line, but then I've gone quicker, I've gone tighter curve. So when you draw that line here, you come to your V tool, line in, but as you come over here to this part, you can swoop round a bit tighter. Then, as before, remove, lower the background, get your flat gouge again, clean this up, and when you've done that, I'll show you exactly how I'm going to cut this outline. For the slicing cut, the flat gouge is the tool of choice, because this is particularly useful, this sort of cut, where you've got a slow curve. And the flatter the gouge, the slower the curve you can deal with. So, pretty much the same movement we've just made. High angle grip. We now push that down into onto the line, and this bit of waste will crumble away. Keep this corner high, and then we can push this around like so. So slicing round. So that's the sort of slice. And then we clean this up. And when the tool finds the curve is a little tighter, of course, you can start rotating the handle. This, by the way, is very common to see. What it means is that you're not quite at the background, but that's all right, because in a way that's better than being below the background you want to be. So here we go, same as before, but rotating the handle, pushing this around, and then this wood here will come off. And what we're trying to do is to get, as before, this plane here and this plane coming down here, matching at a nice neat junction here. So you can also, of course, do it this way round. Perhaps I can do that over here, nibble a bit back. So you can make your tool, if you do this, you can just slice off little bits here, turn it round. And what you would find in practice is that you are mixing the two. You have some matching of the outline and joining it together. Sometimes just those little fibres, join it together with a slicing cut, and you're working your way all the way around the outline of your subject. So practice that, practice this cut down here, because it's difficult to get a sense of the depth when you can't see what you're doing, but go lighter, if anything, and do it in 2 passes rather than one just deep one. So there you have it, 4 basic steps to separating your subject and cleaning up and levelling the background. Lining in, lowering the background, levelling the background, and setting in the subject. Let's review it next into the sample board.